So let's start just by together looking at these graphs that y'all have. Okay, we'll start with number 1. Does anybody know what is the name of that kind of graph? It looks like this.
Yeah.
So things that look like that. It has 2 where it changes directions.
Add my notes. Yeah.
That's okay. This is called a cubic. Cubics always look like that, basically.
Oh wait, is this like x to like the 2nd power?
Right. So cubic would be x to the
3rd.
Yeah. So I know my answer is going to have an x to the 3rd in it somewhere. Good job.
Yeah, I remember these. I don't remember like what all they look like, but
No, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. What about this next one?
x to the 4th.
Yes, that's x to the 4th. And obviously more. And what is it? Does anybody know what that's called? It's called a quartic.
Okay, so do you count like the up downs and add 1?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, it was adding the up down or count
So
the up
these are
downs
like the
down.
parent functions of these.
These are not really parent functions, but yes. The x to the 4th is a parent function. But this itself is not a parent function. It's going to be moved. You got to win. It's going to be moved. This one is, yeah.
That makes sense. I count the up downs and add 1.
Okay, so we're not going to worry about the possible equations and stuff because you're going to get a list of those. So don't freak out about that. Let's scoot down to this one. Now this one has lots of stuff in it. Tell me what you see.
Oh, right.
I see 1 up down. So
You see what?
I see 1 up.
1 up.
Yep. 1 up.
Wait, go back.
And I see open.
You see open circles and closed circles. Okay, good.
Are they like rays? Like they end at one point and then
Is it going to be 2 equations?
2 equations, yes. So we have 2 equations. Ever remember what that's called? When you have 2 equations, they were put together by a little bracket like
I know
that.
they looked like I didn't like them. I don't think Andrew did either.
It's called a piecewise function.
Yes. No. Andrew hated this. I think as soon as she said the word, he like screamed.
Huh. So look at this one. What does that look like? A
Yeah.
check? Or if I went all the way out, what would that be? V, which is,
Vector. I don't know.
what graph looked like a V? I made a big deal about it looking like a V too. Yes, absolute value.
No.
That's okay if you don't remember. This is all review, guys. Really. Don't freak out. And it may not be review. It may be like, oh, okay, this is the first time I've ever seen that. Really, don't freak out. This is just, hey, we're just seeing what it is. So we're gonna have something down here that's an absolute value kind of function. And something over here, what's that look like?
And upside down.
An upside down what? Parabola. So parabolas are made by what kind of equation? X squared, which was what? Quadratic. Yes, Brooklyn. Yeah, okay. Couldn't tell who said it.
You
Yeah.
remember different things.
All of these things are true. Absolute value, is going to kind of look like that.
I'm really glad I bought pens this year because now I can write on graphs and see it.
Okay, what about this next one? It's got asymptotes.
Those are the
Is it like, no. How would they have x squared? I thought this was like square root.
Ooh, a square root, by the way, looks just like that. Now that's good. Keep that in mind because it's coming.
I'm trying to remember all the different ones. What's the start with?
R.
Oh.
Rational. It's a rational function, which is like 1 over x or x squared. Remember, because you set the bottom equal to 0 to get the vertical asymptote.
Yeah.
Remember that, but vaguely. It's okay if you don't. If you're like, oh my gosh, again, this is just, hey, fun. Let's try to match stuff. Let's see what works. Okay. What's that one? Number 5.
No, it has 4.
It's 4. Yeah. Quartic.
I counted up.
So how am I going to be able to tell the difference between the graph for number 5, the equation should say, and for number 2?
Is it going to be like a negative?
Yeah. One of them is going to be like a negative. It's going to have a negative leading coefficient. Are these words ringing a bell? Numbers in front of like the x to the 4th, if it's negative, which way would it point?
Down.
Down.
So,
Positive, up. So these are just things to mull over and think about.
so this one would be positive?
This one, yep.
Wait, what? Okay.
Question? You good? Okay. What about graph 6? That is a cubic. And again, you're going to look at leading coefficients, see if it goes up on the right, it's a positive. If it went down on this side, then it would be a negative leading coefficient.
This one's going up, right?
All right, what about number 7?
Am I allowed to call it a piecewise function?
Yep, that is definitely a piecewise function.
Two things going on, they're touching.
Yep, they just happen to touch. You're absolutely right. What's this one look like? Absolute value. And Faith, you mentioned this one a minute ago. Yeah. Yeah, square root. Okay, what about this next one? Has an asymptote. We've already mentioned it.
Oh,
Rational. Good. Rational. And it's going to have a slant asymptote, which means that it's top heavy. Remember those words?
yeah.
Top heavy, bottom heavy. So this one will be top heavy. Okay, now the next 4, I believe, yes, and that's the last of them. The next 4, let's see if anybody comes up with what it could be.